3,000 illegal immigrants are living in this factory, almost what a half a block long? And this is going to transcend into public housing. They keep saying that there will be no public housing for illegal immigrants. That's not true. So we pay to be homeless basically now as United States citizens.
Yep.
We're going to flip Chicago red. The Democratic Party is done in Chicago. And that's
I love that. Say that again, bud.
We're going to flip Chicago red. The Democratic Party is done in Chicago.
This video has gone viral for good reasons. Friends, black Chicagoans say that the Democrats, they are done with them. Done with the Democrats and vow to flip the state red. Do you know how drastic of a statement that is to be coming from black people? Especially when we vote, over 80% of us, it was 90 Democrats. That is a massive statement. So we're gonna listen to this video here. This is coming from Africa, the Diaspora news channel. They are, I like them. When they're not doing too much of that racism talk, they're very balanced. So anyway, let's go back to some of that substance right here. Let's take a listen to the argument that's being presented here.
The black residents of Chicago, and specifically that of Mark Carter, who has been very instrumental in speaking out against the migrants going into Chicago and taking up all the resources, right? Resources away from the black community. Now, recently I did a video about him and others saying that they want to have a conversation with Trump. They invited the Republicans to go and speak with them. Now, this video I'm about to show you, it was actually 3 black gentlemen on there, but Mark Carter, I'm going to show you his segment where, you know, he and the other men were at a homeless encampment. They were talking about the issues that black Chicagoans are facing, of course, homelessness and all of that. And they're basically saying we are paying to be homeless because a lot of, well, you know, people pay taxes, right? And so you're paying taxes, but the money is not going to help you. It's actually going to help other people or helping other people that are going into Chicago. It is said that by the end of this year, if not more, it's going to be about $300 million allocated toward helping the migrants in Chicago alone, right? And so Mark said this. Check it out.
American citizens, American children who are already struggling academically, you're going to bring in a new group of children, a new group of people, take those resources away from Americans to accommodate this new group of people. That is going to make the children going to fall further behind. Unemployment is going through the roof. Poverty, crime. This is going to impact our communities across this city to the point to where violence, murder, robbery is going to spike. Not just with Americans, but also with these people coming here. 3,000 illegal immigrants are living in this factory, almost what a half a block long? And this is going to transcend into public housing. They keep saying that there will be no public housing for illegal immigrants. That's not true. So we pay to be homeless basically now as United States citizens.
Yep.
We're going to flip Chicago red. The Democratic Party is done in Chicago. And that's
I love that. Say that again, bud.
We're going to flip Chicago red. The Democratic Party is done in Chicago. And that's a fact. By summer, you think it's a lot of them coming in. You watch the uprising of red.
So as you saw, you know, he was talking about the issues that will happen due to the resources being taken out of the black community there in Chicago. Talked about crime, and also he talked about earlier youth not being able to read and things like that. And so another gentleman saying we need to divest from big government. We need to divest from the Democratic Party and everything else that has held us down, right? Now going back to Mark, he says the Democrats are done here, right? We are going to flip Chicago red. Now, when you flip something red, that's a political term, right? Or blue, that means it's either going to go toward the Republicans, which is red, or it's going to go to the Democrats, which is blue. Now, traditionally, Chicago is a blue city. Illinois is typically a blue state. And so he is saying here in Chicago, we are going to flip it red. We're going to give it to the Republicans because the Democrats have been thumbing their noses at black people for the longest, even to the tune of, well, we're not going to help y'all. we're going to help the migrants. We're going to help them get everything they need. We're going to build them weatherized tents, and we're going to make sure they get vouchers and money and just everything. We don't want them to be uncomfortable, right?
They do it. They do it. They do it. I mean, beyond the taxpayers' consent, they are really going way out of their way to take care of the migrants. By all means, they are human beings. They should be cared for, and I understand that. But if you haven't been caring for your own people and you're caring for these people that are coming in who have not been investing in the system, I'm wondering, what is your agenda?
Even though they've seen they being the politicians there, Black Chicagoans uncomfortable, having to sleep in, cold weather, the trains, even we've done videos about that here. Black Chicagoans sleeping on the train when the weather was 15 degrees. They didn't have a problem with that. All of a sudden, they got to comfort the migrants when they are fleeing for whatever they're fleeing from. I'm not saying that they're not fleeing for persecution or anything like that, but they're coming over here and they're getting help immediately, right? It's like almost overnight.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases,
this also shows you that the Dems have always been the racists. There's always been true, and it's true what people's been saying, that they were the party of the Jim Crow. They were the KKK party. And by them doing this, knowing predominantly brown and black people's communities are being impacted by this, it goes to show that they don't care. And it goes to show that if they really cared about black people this whole time, people have been asking and begging for change, they could have done something. But the fact that they've walked over backward to do this, who's behind this is the question should be asking. Who are the businesses? Who are the people that are funding some of this stuff? I don't think it's just government only. Yeah, the government is doing the job of big businesses, unelected bureaucrats. I understand that. But it's very obvious there is a plan to infiltrate black communities and also to just give more value and money and status to the illegal immigrants than actual Americans in this country. This is crazy.
Entities, politicians, things, they're demanding more money to help the migrants, but they're not demanding more money to help American citizens and specifically black people. And so I agree with Mr. Carter. Yeah, it needs to be one and done or 52,000 and done because, black people, we always vote for the Democrats, but it just needs to be no more. The Democrats do not deserve our vote at all.
Say that again. Say that again, please.
The Democrats do not deserve our vote at all.
Thank you.
And if we don't believe that, just look back in the last couple of years when Joe and Kamala went to the White House.
Yeah.
They went with the help of black people, and they have almost like purposely done everything else for everybody except for black people. It's almost like they're like, okay, should we help black people? No, we're not going to help them. No, we're not going to just help. That's Kamala, right? It's almost like they purposely are ignoring benign neglect, right? Y'all look that up, okay? But that's what it is. They're reenacting or implementing benign neglect to black people. We'll just ignore them, pretend like they're not here, or help everybody else. And if they get mad, so.
You know what's crazy, though? And still a large amount of blacks will vote Democrats. I know for Trump, a lot of them say we ain't voting for nobody, right? But the research has shown there's still over 50%. Actually, it's more than that, right? 20% are saying they're voting for Trump. A large amount between that, about 40 or something percent saying we don't know what we're going to do. The rest of them saying we're still voting Democrats. That is crazy. That is crazy. Even though their policies are hurting your community, you're still voting for them. Soft on crime policies hurt black people. Open borders policies hurt black people. Almost every Democratic policies today is hurting the black community more than any other policies coming from the Republicans. And that's a fact. And guess what we're still doing? We're still voting Democrats. That is serious brainwash.
We'll just ignore them, pretend like they're not here, or help everybody else. And if they get mad, so what? What they gonna do about it, right? But as they said in this video, we need to divest. We need to do for self, as they say in the nation, right? Marcus Garvey, up you mighty nation, accomplish what you will. We need to do those things. And then I believe politicians and everybody else will take us a little bit more seriously. But I think they're gonna start taking us seriously now because they're hearing more cries for us.
I think what you just said here is crucial, right? the black community is not investing so much in itself as a group of people. You look at the Chinese, you look at the whites, you look at like people that are the Indian community, like what they do, how they bind together and work things out and make each other. Like I've heard there are some of them who are giving each other's loans to start businesses as soon as they come from their country. Like amazing things that they do. They will take people in their home until the person can prosper. Like we don't do that as black people. Anyway. So what this shows is that we have all these billionaires, all these rich men who play football, some of these men, they play basketball, they're making millions of dollars. Like black community should not look this bad. Even though we can talk about what the government is doing, but if you look at the wealth that is in black community, in the hands of black people, among the rich, if a few of these men will put their head together, they can change everything. They can change everything. We have so many black ministers who are rich. I'm not on that list. Please cancel me. I'll work for free. The thing is, all of them, just these ministers alone, if they were to put their money in a pot to help black communities, they could have fixed the issues. But we relying on the government. We are relying on Joe Biden. We are relying on some of these men to help us. But when we have the resources and the means to take care of us, and again, going back all the way in the 1900s, right? You're talking about slavery was rampant. Jim Crow was rampant. Segregation was the thing. Black people and black families were doing fine. They were doing better than they are now. What does this tell you, friends? Something is wrong up here. And that needs to change. It's not wrong to call it out. It's not racist to say this about ourselves. Unless we can see ourselves, change our ways, we will never change. Who was the name of the man? Is a scholar, and I'm going to find a video. I'm going to put it up. I don't have his name right now.
Single black community in America. Mm-hmm. Not one. It's impossible for you to play as a community. Means you got a team. People got mutual understandings, interests, and direction and plans. You have not one black community in America. All you got are black neighborhoods. A neighborhood is where you eat and sleep. A hotel is a neighborhood. A neighborhood is like having a bucket with holes in it. You're pouring water in it. It runs out. It has no effect. And in some of these neighborhoods, it's gotten so bad now, they're not even neighborhoods anymore. The crime has gotten so high, they ran the neighbor out. All you got left is a hood.
That's right.
That's why they call it the hood. Mm-hmm. You don't own media, you can't communicate, you can't organize, you can't motivate. So that's the structure. If you want to build your wealth and power, that's how you do it. You spend and once you build that economy, spend your money with your own people, make it bounce 8 to 10 times. In this country right now, Hispanics. Let's take Hispanics. Hispanics bounce their money on an average of 6 to 7 times in Mexican time. Little Havana, little Cuba. White folks typically bounce their money 8 to 12 times. Arabs bounce Arabs and Asians bounce their money about 13 or 14 times. Jews bounce their money about 18 times. Black money doesn't bounce once. As soon as a black person gets paid, he runs straight to somebody else's business and gives them their money. That means they go bankrupt every night. Every black neighborhood goes bankrupt every night at 7 o'clock. Stays bankrupt until the next morning. They don't own any damn businesses.
But he went on a Breakfast Club. He told it exactly what I'm telling you. We ain't doing nothing to help ourselves. No wonder why the Democratic Party keeps disappointing us. And once we establish ourselves as a people, then our voice has value. And when we speak, then people will listen to us. But until we can do that, you might as well become a Republican, because at least the Republicans, they will put policies in place, to keep your community safe. At least they will try. That's not what the Dems are doing. Anyway,
I think they're going to start taking us seriously now, because they're hearing more cries for us to divest from the Democratic Party, right? Just stop voting for them. Let the migrants help them. But we know that's not necessarily the case, because for one, migrants can't vote. And their community, let's say Hispanics, they don't typically vote overwhelmingly for the Democrats. They're more conservative. Now, they might, the majority of them might right now, but a lot of them, enough of them do vote for the Republicans. And so it's not enough of them voting for Democrats to actually help them to where they can totally negate black people. So again, I agree with him. And because I agree with him that we need to divest from the Democratic Party, I'm not saying I'm pro-Trump, because I feel like I have to say that because some people, they lose their minds, right? We are saying, think about other options. There's other options.
Which option? Which one? And that's why I love. I mean, she's doing a great job exposing the issue, but at the same time, the one candidate who has done more for black people, they don't want him. It's kind of like, so you're gonna vote for another Democrat, right? You're gonna vote for another Democrat. You see what I'm talking about? Even though she said all this stuff that is true, at the end, what did she say? She's not gonna vote for a Republican candidate. She's not going to encourage that. Now, if there were other Republican candidates who can actually do the job, who were winning, fine. But if the man is winning, the men have shown what he could do. When he was in office, he's done a great job in black communities. You understand? If he has done it, he's proving his work to be true, and you say you still can't vote for him, something's wrong with that. You see, this mindset here, this is why we lose.
Right? We are saying, think about other options. There's other options out there.
Which ones?
That we can, look to, and I see if it'll be better.
Name 3 of them. Name 3 of them.
Better for us, but we don't have to keep voting for the party of oppression, the party that we put in office, but turn a blind eye to us. So anyway, before y'all go on and invest in the African diaspora.
Anyway, friends, that was a great presentation beside the final part. I think this notion telling people not to vote. No, you should stay out of that. You should actually just present the facts and let people make up their minds. But when you say don't vote for Trump, let people decide. Let people decide. But anyway, having said that, since I'm already a Trumper, so I'm gonna stand for my man. So again, black people have to make their decisions. They have to choose whether or not they are going to be a better group of people. And I think part of the issues in black communities, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, some people like it, some people hate me for saying this, we have an immoral problem. We have a family problem. We have a Christ. We have a problem that it's actually a spiritual problem. Okay? This is the problem I'm telling you, that's what it is. It's not, this problem, I'm telling you, that's in black community is not something the government can fix. It is something Jesus could fix. Jesus says in Matthew 11, verse 28, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest unto your soul, for my yoke is easy, my burden is light. The solution to the issues in black communities rest in the hands of Jesus. But having said that, we need to pray for our people. I love my people, man. I love all people. I don't care about skin color. But what's happening to black communities hurt my heart. We should be way ahead in that. We should be doing much better than this. We are aborting our children. We are acting up, man. Anyway, let me not go to that list again. Leave that matter alone. Have a good one. Bye.